she thinks. And then she, like, reaches in and, like, the glass fire nitrogen thing just melts away. Like, literally just vanishes. But then she notices that it becomes like water. And, like, it starts, like, rising slowly as, like, the weapon comes into her hand. And, like, as soon as it does, she feels, like, immense power, like, uncontrollable power, or, like, this, like, knowing of some kind, like, some kind of, like, deep bond that's, like, almost terrifying. Like, she feels, like, shaken and emotional just from, like, touching this weapon. And she's looking at it, and she doesn't understand. Like, Elyse has probably never cried in her life, and she feels, like, emotional touching this weapon. And as she's, like, so drawn into this weapon, she realizes that the water level is rising higher and higher, and then there's, like, the ceiling is not that high up.
It's hot again now, and it's covering, filling up, rising up towards your ankles, and then you're holding the weapon in your hand, and you look at it, and for a moment, the emblem just, like, sears on your eyes, and all you can see is that image, and then you blink, and the water's gone, and nothing's glowing anymore, and that feeling, that power feeling, it's like, you remember it, but it's like a memory now.
Wow.
And you hear, "Put it down." And when you look over, there is a woman standing there. She has light skin. She has, similar to you, she has sort of a reddish hue to her eyes, but it's not quite as deep. And she has these gray robes and leather armor that's all gray, and on her arm there's this massive tattoo of a black lotus. For those of you listening at home, the Black Lotus is an assassin's guild that is not exactly in good standing with Elyse. They have a bit of a history, and she looks at you. She's pulling out, she has these two daggers. She holds them, she's holding them by her side. And you realize she must have followed you here.
Yeah.
She has blonde hair with these little, like, tan horns poking out of the top. And she says, "Put it down."
Storm! I thought we were friends.
Storm goes, "But we could never be friends. Not after everything you failed to do."
Oh, lovers then?
She laughs and looks at the floor. "There is nothing but animosity between us now. You're a coward. You couldn't do it when it mattered."
Well, I suppose it takes one to know one, doesn't it? And then she, like, gets into a fighter stance, basically, with this halberd. She, like, puts both of her legs down and then, like, takes this, like, basically, like, sumo position with this halberd, like, ready to attack, and she, like, looks dead on to Storm's eyes.
Excellent. So, are you ready to enter combat?
Yes.
So, basically, it's going to be pretty free-flowing. You're going to go, then she'll go. At this point, you guys are in range of each other, which means you can use a ranged weapon to attack her, but you have to move closer in order to become, like, in reach, which is to just actually to attack her with the halberd. So she's preparing to throw a dagger at you. What do?
I think I have a counterattack.
So you want to wait for her? You want her to attack first, then?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Somewhere in her you see her hesitate, like she doesn't actually want to fight this person. So she needs a reason to actually go forward. So
okay.
She decides that she will only fight them if they come at her first.
Okay, cool. So I'll go ahead and roll an attack. She's going to try to keep a distance. She's more of a dagger throwing. You can see she's got a belt with a bunch of daggers on it. That's like her weapon of choice. So she's going to go ahead and make a attack on you. And I rolled a success. So that is going to hit because I rolled a 12. So basically what happens is you don't want to attack first. As you're deciding how to fight, she just immediately whips out a dagger and throws it at you. It jams you in the shoulder, and you just take a quick 2 damage for that as she hits you with the dagger.
Okay. Elyse raises this halberd over her head, does this, like, spinning thingy, and she, like, rushes in, like, charges in to, like, just swipe this person with this giant halberd.
Amazing.
What happens? Do I, like...
I love it. Go ahead and make an attack roll. Make an attack roll.
Okay. 20!
Okay.
It's a 20! I guess it's gonna be like a one-hit thing, which is not a bad thing with this, like, my newfound weapon.
Yeah, I think... Hold on. with a 20. I think that does double damage. Do you remember what your initial damage is? I think everybody's damage is 2.
What about the wild attack?
Are you doing that here?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, so you rolled a 20 on a wild attack. You want to go ahead and... Do you have that in front of you? Or do you want me to read it?
Read it, because I don't
Okay, wild attack. You attack with reckless power, disregarding your safety. That sounds about right. Describe a signature style for this attack and what it looks like when you make it.
Yeah. So she charges forward, spinning this blade into her hand, and as she's spinning, she realizes for the first time that chains come out on both sides of it, and that it's not just like a halberd, and she's like confused by this, but she goes with it, she does like this whole somersault, and then she as the chains are flying out from each side, she grabs one end to where the axe is, and she spins it around, and the hammer on the other end, and she spins it around, and she just takes them and just smashes them against her.
Incredible. And in a natural 20 on a wild attack, you deal quadruple damage. So you do 8 damage, which is a lot. She is in the ground. You pummel her straight into the ground, and when you lift the weapon away, she's dead. Unless you wanted to just knock her out.
No accidental kill goes deeper into her storyline.
Yeah, okay, so she's straight up dead. And when that happens, the cavern starts to rumble. Rocks start falling from the ceiling all around you, and things are just breaking, falling around you. You don't know what to do. And then you see in the corner a tiny circle dot. Translucent, purple, almost waving. It just appears in the corner of your vision.
Wow. So Elyse looks at all of this, and then she looks at her hand, and then she says, no. And she's thinking that she didn't actually mean to kill this person, and then she looks at this weapon, and she realizes just exactly what she has in her hands and how dangerous it is.
And when you look back at the purple dot, it's gotten bigger.
What the heck is this purple dot?
And as you move closer to it, it grows, and it grows, and it grows, and then everything goes black. And that's where we're going to end the game.
Oh, okay, great. Love it. Great. Fantastic.
Thank you everyone for joining us for another episode of A Game Called Quest. A Game Called Quest is an actual play audio drama of the tabletop role-playing game Quest, created by T.C. Sodic and the Adventure Guild. This episode was game mastered by me, Rose, co-edited by me and Sean, and featured Sue as Elyse. You can find more about us and our social media handles in the description box below. Also, in the description box, you can find info about the amazing artists whose music we used for this episode. Each song was used under the Creative Commons license. We're so excited to have you as a part of our community. Please reach out to us using our Instagram or Twitter at Game Called Quest, and feel free to join our community Discord. A Game Called Quest is available for listening on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Overcast. Make sure to leave a review so that we can keep spreading these stories to as many people as possible. Thank you so much for listening to another episode 0 of A Game Called Quest.